Hey, this is JJ with Deluxe Vehicle Detailing. Thanks for tuning in. Today's topic is going to be headlight restoration. And here is today's victim. I know the lighting is probably terrible as I'm getting shadows in. I'm going to do a little better with some of the pictures, especially once I get in the garage, but for right now, wet sanding is messy, so I'm going to leave it out. My car's out, my daily driver's out, the garage is in, and so here we go. So I recently picked up this kit. It is a Polywell. Looks how it's spelled to me. Maybe it's just Polwell. But anyway, it's got a whole bunch of discs and things as you get doing more and more headlights. If you're just doing one and you're just a, consumer, you don't need anything like this. But here's my 800 discs. And let's take a look here. We've got for furniture, crafting, car and headlight restoration, and metal polishing. These are wet and dry. My neighbor is cutting some tile, so great timing there. And there's a picture of what you got. And here is the products include. So you get 20 of all the grits there, and you also get this nice, if you are a consumer, this is a great tool to have. Comes with a lot of the other type of kits where you can put this on a drill, right? And then you've got the Velcro 3-inch backing plate. I've gone through these kits. I've got a bunch of stuff and 3M stuff, and I think this is a 3M kit from long ago. Here's an extra drill attachment with the Velcro that I had. It's nice when you're going around curves. You want something nice and spongy like that. If you have just something hard, this is kind of like a hard foam here, this yellow piece. It can make it a little more difficult. It's nice to have a little cushion, as I will show you on my Medevo rotary, which is about to do some work. I've got the 800 block, 800 grit sandpaper on here. I've got an interface foam disc. You can find these if you just Google search interface foam disc. There's a bunch of them on Amazon. And then here's my backing plate again. This white section here is, kind of soft, but it's nice to have that intermediary. I'll be using some Barney's Impressive. This is a leveling compound. This is really gritty. I'll be using a blue foam pad after the wet sanding, and I will be using a waffle type of 3-inch pad for the polishing. And I've got my bucket with FenLab Pure Rinseless. Give me some. Yeah, that's my favorite. Of course, he hasn't been cutting at all until I just did this. Yeah. So anyway, I'll be using those products. Lighting is important. I've got a light that goes on my rotary. Here's my Rinseless Pure by FenLab. You can use just some soapy water. I've got some pads, and I've got my spray bottle with the Rinseless. You just want a little lubrication. You could use straight up water. You'll be fine. So I'm going to dry sand with 800, and then I'm going to start wet sanding with 1,000, and then 2,000, and then compound polish, and I will be all set. But a lot of the time spent on this is actually with the prep. So I want to, mention the fact that I personally pop the hood and I cover everything with the engine bay with a sheet. I have magnets from Harbor Freight that are very powerful, and I use these little pieces of thin plastic just as a protective barrier, because I will put the magnet on this, on the sheet, and then on the car. It will hold everything in place. If it's a little breezy, you don't have to worry. I will also be using a lot of tape around the light, and I will be using some Glad cling and seal as well in the intermediary parts between the tape and my sheet. And I will drape some stuff down because this is kind of a messy job, right? So anyway, I will do the prep and be back with you. I will just add, as far as taping goes, you can have your typical blue painter's tape. You can see the clean release. This is what you're going to find, Home Depot, Lowe's, that kind of thing. You can also have 3M Auto if you're a professional detailer and you are not using this tape when you're doing polishing jobs to protect. This stuff is way, way better, tears easier, grips better, releases better, doesn't leave anything behind better. Just an all-around better product. I had this plastic strip here. I kind of cleaned it up a little bit, and the blue tape wouldn't stick to it hardly at all. The 3M Auto is the bomb. You can get kits that have all different kinds of widths and everything. I like to kind of start off with thicker widths and work my way down, but that's pretty much what you should be looking at. All these curves, you've got to just, get different pieces in. It's not going to hold perfectly once the wet sanding starts. It's going to release some, but it's there for protection, and that's all you can hope for it. Okay, got that in between the cuttings of the tile. You may not want to go through all these steps. You may keep your hood propped up a little bit and not worried. Me, I just know that as I, change and get up on top of this, I'm going to send splatter this way. And so I think that having the saran wrap, the magnets, and the sheet for just a little bit of extra work, I'm just one of those guys that I would rather, like when I'm painting a room, I'd rather really tape off and cover everything, and just, the cleanup is quicker. You save time. You're more protective. This is somebody's car who loves it. And I will show you something about this Elantra. I did a full detail. This woman loves her car. Look at all this bling, 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 bling. All kinds of even bling. This woman loves this car. She just had the hood and the top painted because she had water spots on. And when I did the detail, I was like, hey, look, it's like way down into the clear coat. She's like, I'm just going to get it repainted. It's got, a lot of rock chips and stuff like that. This woman loves this car. So, you want to take care of people's things as best you can. And these sheets, you can even, overlap and kind of like come down off the wheels, things like that. For me, it makes sense. You get done, you throw it in the washing machine, on to the next. So sometimes you have to find, like, this is all plastic. I couldn't use the magnets here, but I found a bolt, and so I have bolted, the sheet down with the magnet, nice and quick. Used my little protective plastic piece here. I can find it. Yep, there's my little plastic piece. So everything's nice and secure. It's not going to blow away. It may come off a little bit. This cling wrap, it's not perfect. I could, get and do more magnets and things like that. But this is pretty much the prep. It took me a little bit. I didn't time it or anything, but I'm going to go with dry sanding with the rotary. You could use a drill. I'm going to dry sand on the first part just because I've got to get through all this crap here, and I'm just going to chew through it. All right. And when you're doing this kind of work, wear some kind of mask. Plastic particles, protect your eyes from splatter, from, plastic, carbide, silica, things off the sanding disc. You just never know where it goes. Wear gloves, use protection, use your head. So I am now using the Magnum Black Ice waterproof paper at a 600 grit level with my 3M number 20 wet dry sponge pad. It just evens out your pressure points, makes it nice. It's very flexible and bendable so that, see that there? So that, you can get around places. You can use the corner and get in these, really tight areas that you really can't get, certainly not a 3-inch drill piece. I do have some smaller stuff, but anyway, here's what things are going to look like. It's going to just, create a slurry of sorts all over the lens, and you just keep on working. So I've kind of gone to the hand method per se. I also have things like this block that has a little sponge insert in it so you can keep water and kind of clean your sandpaper while you work. That's a nice option. And let's see here, I lost my other little thing I was going to show you. Where did that go? I had it in my water bucket. Sorry about this. I reached in here. Did I drop it? My big, it's so strange. Keep all your stuff in there. Once I find it, I'll come back and show you. I need to find that. I think I've only got one of those. All right. Sorry about that. All right, I'm laughing at myself. It was in my hand that I'm holding the pistol grip for the phone. So these are nice to have. These you can find. They are a wet sanding pad of sorts. I picked this up at O'Reilly. It's in their pro parts department for detailers and professionals. So it's soft, it holds water. Probably can't see that, but it's kind of spongy, but pretty solid as well. And then it's got Velcro, and you can buy these little strips, and this allows you to, get into these tight corners, tight areas, work it, right? So it's nice. It's nice to have things. You can never have too many. Keep them all in the water, keep your paper in the water, all that. I'm going to continue on. All right, here we have, I went over 3 times hand and the wet pad that I showed you with 600 grit. Then I put 1,000 on the rotary, buzzed over them. Then I put on 1,500, and then I just hit them with 2,000. So I have determined that no matter how hard I go on this line, the hazing is actually very balanced, although it doesn't quite look like it because it's on the inside. And this does happen. The heat builds up, and it's just a chemical and or physical change in the plastic. So it doesn't look super great. I am thinking my Meguiars is going to, change that. They're the same on both. I've now, I'm not quite sure how much time I'm in, probably about an hour and a half of polishing, and with wet sanding alone, no polishing, just wet sanding. And this is as good as they're going to get. So I'm hoping that it kind of helps to balance out some with the Meguiars Headlight spray that I'll be showing you. But anyway, I would like these to look more uniform, but no matter what, they're not. Okay, so after the 2000 grit, I took my Barney's leveling compound with the blue 3-inch. This is a Lake Country. I believe it's an HDO pad. It's got the kind of foam backing in the middle of it. Great pad with the beveled edges. Come on, the sun, bevel, so you can really kind of get into the tight spots and the edge work. And I polished it out, and they look, they're incredibly, improved. I'm not, 100% happy, but I never am. This one looks even a little worse. It's still a little cloudy, but it's cracking. It has little crow's feet all through the plastic. And anyway, like I said, I'm hoping that the Meguiars kind of helps out. I got a little bit of breeze in here. I am going to spray with the car pulled up into the garage somewhat, so I will be with you in a moment. All right, I am out of the Florida heat. Yesterday was supposed to be a new record of like 86 degrees for June. I think 110 feels like. Anyway, I have got, I'll kind of back up here. I have got the vehicle, about 3/4 of the way pulled up in my garage. I'm out of the air current and everything. I, put a little more taping down. Obviously did not have the sheet on there as I drove it up in here. So readjusted some things, did some taping, made sure that I've got everything off. And I am going to, I'll hit you with the light here. So she looks, a million times better than she did. There is still, some contrast. This one's a little bit worse. I don't know. It's a lot of wet sanding for what I got out of that. So we'll see how much better those look. But I did, polish just to try and get a little more gloss, as I explained. And I'm about to hit these with the, get under some better lighting here, the Meguiars Headlight coating. This will be my first time with this. I've always used ceramic coatings, but they have no UV protection as where this does. It says only 1 year. And the shoot is pretty easy. I've got my notes here. You mask off. You use rubbing alcohol to make sure your lens is clean. This is if you weren't sanding and polishing, which I did. First coat, overlap with 50% coverage on a medium wet application. So not real heavy, not real light. Let it dry for 3 to 5 minutes. Do a second coat, same way. Medium wet. This is to seal it. And it's dry within 3 to 5 minutes and cured within 24 hours. Use mask and eye protection. I will probably put my goggles on here in a minute. And I am going to shoot this. I am running tight on time, or I would, I've actually got a friend of mine over that could film this while I do this, but I am just going to go ahead and shoot these, do the second coat, and come back and wrap this up. All right, so I did my first coat. I waited 5 minutes. It was, kind of a light medium coat. Here we are with just the normal garage lighting. You saw how bad this side looked before. And the amazing thing about this headlight coating from Meguiars is you can really just wet sand and leave it kind of roughed up a little bit. It gives the coating somewhere to grip into. Now, it still looks a little wet to me. The actual, what do I want to say? Well, let's put a light on it and really get in. Here you can see the glass, micro cracking throughout that area. But as we get into this, I'm going to do this on the side here. All those areas where it was very much, not really centered, this product really just kind of cleared everything up. And I think that this is really intended to, just kind of wash. I did 2 alcohol wipes. I think I didn't mention that before, with some 91 50/50 with distilled water, some 91 IPA, not the beer, the actual isopropyl alcohol. And anyway, I gave these 2 nice coats. They look gorgeous. The cracking and stuff, you can still see it if if you look just right. You can see that micro cracking. And I just talked to the owner to tell her, to come pick them up. And she said, hey, I've seen some water drippage, and I think that there's a bad seal on the lens itself. And I'm like, yeah, if there's a bad seal and you're getting water in there, then it's heating up and causing steam, and that steam expands, and then that cracks your lens more. So this lens, I mean, look, you saw how they looked. You saw how they looked in the beginning. I'm going to strip everything off here. She's probably due in, but I wanted to make sure I got this video and kind of talked about this. And if I jumped around some, sorry about that, but I have got a lot going on besides this set of headlights at the moment. So anyway, I thank you for being with me. Give you a little flip side. Peace to all of you. Happy 4th of July as it is right now. This probably won't post for a month or so. I've got a bunch of videos that are all in the schedule thing. But anyway, I'm trying to do a little better. Let me know what you think of my new intros and the fact that I'm actually using editing software thanks to CapCut. And thanks to Meguiars for this, man, because this really made those things pop. All right, good luck with your project. If you're a beginner and have never done this, you can feel free to call me. And honestly, you can actually call me 727-742-7867. I will try and walk you through and help you through. And you want to send me some pictures, I'm actually here to help. That's why I created this channel many years ago. And now I'm over 1,000 subscriptions. So I thank each and every one of you. Until next time, take care. Enjoy making your vehicles beautiful. Hit the notification bell. Beep. And you get a flip side occasionally. Subscribe, like. Thanks. Hey, just a little bonus footage on the backside. So I took everything off. I wiped everything down with some isopropyl alcohol just to make sure I removed all the tape marks and that. And then I went and took some Meguiars Express spray wax and just waxed the whole front end just to make sure everything's clean. You're going to make a mess. You're going to have some slurry underneath your saran wrap and things like that. But these lights look great, and I think she's going to be really happy. And she should be here any minute and pick this up. So anyway, probably a little on the edges that I could clean up, but I just don't want to touch those lenses. It is a 24-hour cure. 3 to 5 minutes it's dry. But 24-hour cure, I wouldn't let these get wet or anything right away, that's for sure. All right. Enjoy making your vehicles beautiful. Thanks.